It's a few days later. It's pouring with rain outside now, not sunshine. But the decals have arrived for the Hofner. Some expert camera work here as usual. Looky, looky. How nice is that? And it really completes the project, I think. The headstock also looks much better than it did before. I don't care what kind of screen printing elitist you are. And I've done the frets today, just now, just finished. Oiled the board. Fresh, clean, level. They were a real mess, all over the place, up and down. It's got a 0 fret here, which is great. Which was needed just a bit of light sanding. I didn't want to fuss too much because I don't want to adjust the height too much. The height hasn't really changed on the frets. I've just sorted out the high spots, so we should be good to go really. What we need to do now is finish setting up the instrument. The fret leveling and crowning technically isn't a part of setting up, but I like to think that it is, because what's the point in making the best of a guitar that's got bad frets? You know, you're going to set something up and you're always going to have an issue at whichever action that you prefer to play at. So, you know, some people will not want to spend the extra money on getting fret leveling and crowning done and make the best with what's available to them at the time for, you know, £50, £40 setup. But the fret leveling and crowning is definitely the way to go for me. Once you've done it properly a few times and you play an instrument that's not had it done, you really notice, and that makes you a better player. It makes you have fun with your instrument more as well, in my opinion. It's not the be all and end all though, let's face it. You know, Hendrix picked up a guitar in any condition and played it great. If he got on well with it, if he connected with it, he played it great. So we've made this a better guitar, we've made it a better bass, sorry, and now we just need to start putting it back together again. All of the parts have been aged. We collect them now from a separate box where I've been keeping them safe. Just here, and we can just start to reassemble. So the bridge goes back on here to the end of the pick guard with this little pin, and luckily there's a shadow where the bridge was before, so we'll just push it up into that and we'll know that it's the right placement for it. Actually, the bridge is quite dusty. I'm going to give it an oiling just to rejuvenate it. Just give it some true oil. It'll seal it and lock it way better than they would have done in the factory. At this price point, you know, £600, £700, £800 maybe, you don't get these extra touches at the end that make it just an astounding thing. You know, you get great quality for sure, but hand finishing anything always costs, you know, maybe even double the price of the instrument, because you've got to pay someone to all of the hours it takes to do all of this extra kind of finessing. If it were my bass, and if it were me wanting to really age this side of it as well, I might, you know, round over some of these edges that are really sharp, you know, so it had the feeling of something that has been worn out. that's what we'll do now then, I guess. That's what I'm being paid to do here. Funny how these things, you know, they're like, I like to think of work as like a flower or a plant. Throughout the day it opens out its branches, and that's in the form of ideas and in the form of remembering processes and remembering things you might have read that enhance the process, and all of these things branch off into different directions, and you just got to follow them the best that you can. That makes a great project. I'm not one of these kind of people who can map everything out from the start and just say like, right, now I just have to do everything according to the book, you know. Just take a couple of chips off of there. This way your hand might have knocked it a few times with your ring or something. There we go. And now it's been finished in a bit of true oil, it will be extra protected as well. There we are. So back on to the pick guard it goes. You might want to see that. Focus, focus, come on. Yeah, you get the picture. I just used the blade to take the edges off of it and put a couple of delicate chips just to bring it in line with the rest of the base and the work that's been done. So that's popped in there. We can do the same oiling on the saddle part. It's a really nice piece of rosewood, this bridge. So the base of the bridge is done, and now also the also the saddles are. Can tell. No, I can't. They all look really even, but I'm going to say that that's where we want our saddle section. Yeah, so that's basically where we're at now. I'll probably do a quick video at the end once I've set it up. The flat wound strings are going on it. It really looks the part now. It feels the part. It's going to play the part. And basically what you've got here is a service that I offer that's totally trustworthy, that will take your instrument from factory regular kind of thing to something that's really unique. You can spec what kind of aging you want, you can spec what kind of setup you want, you can spec what kind of strings you want, and I'll basically do it for a pretty modest amount of money relatively for how long and how much effort and how much technique and craft goes into each piece. So if you are interested in something like this and you're based in in Europe, preferably, because the US, there's probably specialists that you could find there that won't attach the import duties and the shipping fees that are so high to America. If you are in Europe, even if you are in America, to be honest, and you want to see if we can get a quote together, feel free to contact me, fernevergreenguitars@gmail.com. So thanks again for joining me, and I hope this has been a useful part of the process. The fret leveling and crowning is something that you can catch up on YouTube videos if you want to attempt it yourself. but everything else I think I've explained pretty well. So yeah, thanks a lot.